This is Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Telecom Reseller. And today I'm with Graham Bevington, who's the Chief Sales Officer at Mitel. Graham, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Doug. Pleasure to be here.
Well, I'm very excited that we're doing this podcast to get caught up on the latest news out of Mitel. Mitel has entered negotiations with Atos to acquire its unified communications and collaborations business unit called Unify. We're going to be talking about the details of that in just a minute. But Graham, as the Chief Sales Officer at Mitel, could you just update our readers about who Mitel is today? What are you guys doing these days?
Thank you, Doug. It's absolutely and welcome the opportunity to do that. So let me just share where we are in 2023. Mitel is very much a unified communications and collaboration business. This year is actually our 50th year of trading. And so we'll be having 50th birthday parties as the year goes on. We really are very focused now on the unified communication and collaborations sector. We realize that customers want choice. They want choice of technology. They want choice of deployment methods. And so that's really how we look to try and deliver our services to our customers around the world. We're much more focused these days on the workflow applications that our customers use and how we integrate them and deliver total solutions to our customers. We're very much channel partner based, and we have a partner network that covers the globe. And, we really are now doubling down on how Mitel not only leverages its strong history in vertical markets like hospitality, which I think we're infamous for or famous for, depending upon how you want to describe it, but other verticals like healthcare and education and retail, and really making sure that we become the integration point, as I say, of the different workflow applications that are used to operate those businesses. And that's been our focus now for a couple of years. And we're very excited that we're building out our skill set on that. Mitel's user group now has some 10,000 members. I was just with our chairman literally an hour ago talking about the news that we're going to discuss on this podcast. And, he was delighted to see that what I was telling him were the reasons behind this deal very much reflected the request of our user group and core team when I met them in the summer in New York. So I promise you we are very customer centric, very customer focused, and making sure that we're really looking at the total end-to-end workflow applications that our customers use and what the right integration points are to our services to make sure that our clients have the best service possible that they can give to their customers.
It's really rare that we report often on an acquisition, but it's really rare that I get to hear that the acquisition was in part driven by customer experience, customer demand, that the customers are actually saying, maybe not necessarily buy this company, but that we want you to move in this direction.
Well, I think the thing is when you look at the unified communications and collaboration market, and you hear people describe it and you read the analyst reports, people will tell you about this $50 billion market. And when you look at where Mitel stands today, we're very much in the product end of that market. And I know based on our annual sales and the number of users we've got, which is about 35 million, which is about 8% of the total market, when I add up the total product sales in a year, I'm not getting to a $50 billion annual number. It tells me that actually a lot of the value in that $50 billion market is in the applications and services that are integrated on top of call control, on top of the traditional businesses, which are then complemented by a variety of services. And so, if you take what we do today as the tip of an iceberg, Mitel's looking to work out how it can get access to more of the iceberg by adding more value to its partners and its customers in terms of the value-added services that we offer. And Tuesday evening's announcement is another step in that direction.
So, do the assets that you would pick up in this transaction actually do just that?
Absolutely, they do. Our friends at Unify have a very strong managed service business unit. And what they do is they offer a end-to-end solution for the enterprise clients that they go bid, which in many cases have a multi-vendor environment. As much as I'd love to tell you, Doug, that over the last 50 years, our arguments about how great Mitel Canadian-built call control have gone down, I have to admit that every customer logo that we might have as a user when we present to the world might not have end-to-end Mitel in every site that they own around the world. and that you see a lot of enterprises with mixed estates. And one of the things that our user group told us was, when I have a mixed estate, what can you do to help me manage that and evolve that estate into a simpler go forward infrastructure? And our friends at Unify have a lot of skill sets around that, a lot of experience around that. And that's something that we want to bring to the party, because we think that that is going to be more and more important going forward. You know, the global pandemic made us all use Microsoft Teams, and again, I always hark back to my favourite friends, the user group. When you look at their survey and what they shared with me last summer, first of all, I thought they got the maths wrong, because they told me that about 80% of my install base within the user group community was using Microsoft Teams, and about 49% was using Zoom. And I said, well, no, that's not right, because that's more than 100. And they said, no, what you'll find is within an enterprise that you get certain users who prefer to use Teams, and certain times they'll use Zoom. And so whilst you think that every single user on Unified Communications and Collaboration is going to end up with a single app, you'll often find that based on the workflow, they might have 2 or 3 apps, even within that one enterprise, that depending upon the task of that knowledge worker, works better for the circumstances they're in. And so, we've evolved our thinking to really want to be that integration point, to really be the guys that glue it all together, that allow our customers to be successful, whether it's with collaboration tools, whether it's with, as I say, that multi-vendor estate. And so, as we look forward, we see more diversity, not less. The world of the end-to-end single technologist provided by one vendor has been talked about for many years, but I can't think of times when I've seen it happen. And so therefore integration is more and more important, and the more skill sets we have around that, the stronger place we perceive we're going to be. So that's what this journey is about.
So it sounds like that's in fact your strategy, that your strategy is to be the integration point instead of being the master platform, the one app everyone's using.
I almost think that's some sort of nirvana that actually doesn't exist. Bigger companies than Mitel, with bigger budgets than Mitel, have tried to build the one-size-fits-all super Uber app. As I say, the COVID pandemic did more for Microsoft Teams than because everybody had to work from home very quickly, and therefore using Teams became a standard play. And they've got 350 million desktops around the world, so it's pretty obvious that they'd have access to that number of users potentially. And Zoom obviously exploded as well in the pandemic, and we just have to work out now. People are in a post-pandemic environment. They're looking for hybrid environments. They're looking for an infrastructure within the office. They're looking for what they're going to do when they work from home, and they're looking at how they pull that all together. And what we're finding is that what's important is, as a vendor, not only do we look at it from a technology and product portfolio and what we can build and grow, but also what our customers are looking and what our customers are seeing. And we see in certain vertical markets and certain size of customers a natural propensity to move to UCaaS, for which both ourselves and Unify, by coincidence, have partnerships with RingCentral. But equally, we're seeing in other vertical markets move towards a private cloud environment, or either managed by the client or managed by a system integrator or a service provider. And so, as I say, we're really open to different deployment methodologies, working out, well, what's the best fit for the customer, and making sure that we're adding real value in terms of integrating the unified communications and collaboration applications to the customer's workflow.
So does this change the position of Mitel within the UC market?
It does, yeah. I mean, this absolutely gives us scale. It takes us from about 35 million users, as I mentioned, globally, to about 75 million users. It takes us to about 5,500 partners around the world. It really does give us scale and give us much more momentum in the market. And we're really, looking forward to being able to work with our bigger, broader partner community, and with a broader portfolio of both products and services.
So why now?
It's the $64,000 question. It really feels like the world is beginning to change. There's never a perfect time to do a deal, but what we're seeing is just a post-pandemic uh, evolution, as I say, to much more hybrid working. People, I'm in London today, in London, the city, nothing to do with Mitel. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, you can't get a hotel or restaurant for love nor money. Mondays and Fridays, you can go anywhere because everybody's working from home. Um, I won't give you the acronym for that one, Doug, because I'll probably get taken off air. But there's just a huge change in the way that people work, and therefore the technologies and what they want to work with and how they want to do that. And we don't want to sit in our traditional wheelhouse. We want to expand what we do, as I said, working with our user group, working within vertical markets, recognizing that it's not just the technology wrap, but also the service delivery wrap that's actually important to the end user. And we've got a very strong partner community, and in many instances, we work with our partner community to fulfill those needs for our customers. And we want to make sure we've got the right rules of engagement, and we can sort of move up the value chain. The SMB market and mid-market have traditionally been our strengths. We think it's time to move into the enterprise market, and we think that Unify helps us get there faster. And so we're very excited to take that step.
You have been talking about your customers. What about your partners?
Yeah, our partners are, as I say, essential to us. There'll be over 5,500 in the new combined entity around the world. We want to make sure that our partner community has got the best portfolio of products and services to allow them to be successful with the customers. We use our partners and we work with our partners in many guises, and we want to make sure that we're offering them the best technology and lots of opportunity everywhere in the world. Kind of partners is in our DNA. That's not going to change.
Is the deal soon to be finalized?
There's an amount of regulatory process and compliance that we have to go through. I'm told that I shouldn't put a timeline on it, that I should be respectful of that process and suggest that we expect to see the deal complete in the second half of 2023. And I'll do as I'm told for once.
All right. Well, with that, do you have any other plans for mergers or acquisitions coming up in the future?
You never say never. The industry is in an interesting point. I won't comment on rumours about competitors and where that is. I'll leave that to the rest of the world. But we see an opportunity in this market to consolidate, to grow our business, to grow our services, to give our partners the best solutions that are available in the unified communications and collaboration space, to give them opportunities to choose deployment structures and methodologies that fit the needs of their clients. And we really want to do everything we can to support and drive that. And, we're excited about the future, and I think this transaction allows us to change the narrative around Mitel. And we're excited to do that. We're looking forward to doing that. And we thank you for the opportunity to join you today on the podcast, Doug, and be able to just share a little bit of the message. Clearly, as we get nearer to close, and we've done a little bit more integration planning and work, we'd love to come back on and share some more news with your readers. Okay, so if you go onto our website, www.mitel.com, we have some information on the transaction. There's a press release there. And again, if any of our partners or end user customers want to ask any questions, we'd be delighted to answer them. I think there's a link on the website too for that. So, we look forward to moving forward with the process to getting to the point where we can close the transaction and being able to share the news and the details of our go forward plans with everyone as soon as that's practical.
Well, Graham, again, thank you for joining me today. I am looking forward to that next podcast and also other news out of Mitel this year. But for now, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.